Hello to whoever's watching. My name is Dylan Bushe. I am about to look on my phone and recite a poem that I wrote. I'll just read it. When I woke in the womb, pieced perfectly, placed perpetually in this paradise of penance and patience, he said to me, "You will be whatever I want you to be." I did not speak up, for I had no voice, but I felt a cold tingle down my immature spine, slowly sinking, sipping at the words, "You will," not having the capacity to comprehend the chaos of the verbiage, and yet beautifully articulating the power of the unrelenting presence. When I was a child, living likenesses of little loves, longing, lingering, leaving from lost and lonely lovers, looking for the last lines of listless dark lakes, he came to me and said, "You will be whatever I want you to be." My blooming ears could interpret the harsh programming. The brushstrokes painted fervently the future of my foundation, and at first had forsaken me in my dreams that forever turned to nightmares, twitching me awake as my eyes closed for relief, because my spine had connected to my shadowed brain and tired ears, and I came to live my nights like I lived my days, listening to his lies, finding the little truths in his poison. When I was a teenager, seeing strangers, suffering so slowly through some strange sequence of sailing souls down the river Styx, stuck so solemnly to their states, my eyes could not look away, yet kicked sand and shuttered sound sewed them shut, but assailants of powerful stature descended on my swollen eyes, sucking them of what status they had attained, sold them to a more salient reasoning. He came to me and said, "You will be whatever I want you to be." My eyes were lost in what was being told and what was being sold. Merchants with black eyes and meatless bones came after the moments when my eyes opened long enough to sail away on their ships, passing through soft wounds that remained open sores. When I was an adolescent, hearing helpless hollers, hell-bent on healing my horrendous hopes that honestly held my heavy heart, having hungry homilies of hollowed howlers that wailed hourly. Lost my place. Fuck. When I was an adolescent, hearing helpless hollers hell-bent on healing my horrendous hopes that honestly held my heavy heart, having hungry homilies and hollowed howlers that wailed hourly, hunting hounds hurried, hungry for harrowed hounds, he again came to me and said, "You will be whatever I want you to be." It wasn't until I was old enough to focus my tired eyes, my swollen ears, my deserted heart, my mature spine on the voice that commanded my antennas to the world, that I realized I had become exactly what he wanted me to be, a caged, wounded, and broken spirit, incapable of completing tasks without honing in on his law, which to this day still attempts to govern my being. I faced him at first with a force that guided me through the thickest of times, charging at him with the might of my anger, which ironically was controlled by him. He laughed and said, "You cannot fight me." I looked over my shoulder, picked up my feet, and flew across the universe, passing through space and time to reach great distances. And when I turned around, he smiled and said, "You cannot run from me." I disappeared through chemicals and danced through music, dove into oceans, flung off of cliffs. I escaped through moments when even the greatest of magicians gave me a standing ovation as I pulled rabbits out of my bleeding stomach in hopes that maybe it would actually mean I could die in peace. He stood right in front of me and said, "You cannot rid yourself of me in this life or the next." So I stood at eye level with him, stared into the pitch-bounded emptiness of his dreams, and realized his true desires for me. It was in this moment when I realized there was only one thing left to do. So I took him by the hands, I folded them into mine, and I held my ground, and he had nothing to say. And I took my hands and moved them to his forehead, and he could not think, and he had nothing to say. And I took my lips and pressed them to his skull, and he did not budge, and he had nothing to say, and I embraced him with all the warmth I could muster, and I uttered the words that to this day still perplex him. I love you. And he cocked his head to the side, and he said nothing, and did nothing, and for the first time in my life was nothing. In the brief reprieve, I realized I had become something he had not wanted for my future. I became that which he had always feared, unchained, unchecked, and unchallenged, and to this day, when his swift hands attempt to hold me back and his reach begins to grow and close my awakened self, I focus my essence to my own strength and remain what I want to be, a being of light, unchained, unchecked, unchallenged, and unafraid. Okay, we can cut this off now. Oh, didn't